TJ. Welcome to Cab Bros. This is a show for bros, by bros, pretty much getting the guy side of cruising. This is the partner channel to Cabin Wives, so I decided get most of the originals Cabin Wives in here. So without further ado, I'm going to start bringing in our guests. The first one will be, let's see, who is not paying attention down here at all? Hani. So, hello, Hani, from the Beach Life.
Trying to get my Wi-Fi in order. How's everybody?
Doing good. Doing good. So welcome to the show. Next, I'll bring in Mike from Beach Please.
What's up? How's it going, guys?
Brad from Midlife Crazy.
Cheers, everybody.
Okay. Bill from MGM Family Travel.
Hey, guys. What's happening?
And, of course, Bob from Cuse Cruisers.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, Bob.
Good. So we got a ton of people in the house. We got Tyler. We got Marielle and Dylan. We got Anthony the Gator Simone, who all y'all went crazy on last night while I was passed out my keyboard. Which I never got. What happened? Why did I wake up and only see all y'all up there and not Anthony?
We kicked him off.
Oh. Okay.
No, he was having some internet issues. So, but he came back on. He came back on later, and that's when it really got a little crazy.
He came on strong.
He came back strong.
I was watching the replay. I'm pretty much just watching football and moving furniture today. So what's everybody drinking?
Blue Moon.
Okay.
The usual.
Red Bull.
Just Bud Light Orange.
Okay. What about you, Hani?
Just iced tea for me today.
Still recovering.
The Yeagley Hershey's. So, Guy Cruise Line. So, what are things? Let's see. How should we start this? Because I really wrote nothing down. So, because I kind of lost track of the time. So, what are things y'all look for? I guess as a guy wants to do a cruise.
What do we look for? Is that what you said? What do we look for?
Yes.
Like what when we're booking it?
Yeah.
You want to go ahead, Bill? Or you want me to go?
Go ahead, Brad.
I mean, for me, it's really about an itinerary that has a good balance of port days and sea days combined. Right? I don't like to go on a cruise where it's just port. I'd rather have like it spaced out a little bit if I can. So I like a good balance. If it's a 7-day cruise, ideally I'd like to have like 3 stops and then 3 sea days. So that's super important. It's one of the things, but because I love sea days.
I do too. What about you, Bill?
I look a lot like that. I like to relax too on a cruise. I don't want to be going port. But I also look at the ports that we're going to. I've been known to go off by myself on excursions, and my wife and the kids will go on a different excursion because I like to fish. They don't like to fish, so I kind of look at where we're at. If it's something I'm interested in, I will definitely book an excursion on my own.
Really?
Yep, and I also look for ports where, it's not just all about Bill. We do spend family time together. So there are ports that are important that we do spend family time. My favorite port of all is the private islands. So, and that's definitely like just relaxation. So,
Gotcha. What about you, Bob?
As long as it's a ship that's sailing on the water, I'm good with it, right? I just love cruising for cruising. But when we do book a cruise, I'm looking for an itinerary. We try to go to places we haven't been before. So, and we're trying different cruise lines as well. But and I do agree with everybody else. I I like a mix. I don't want port after port after port either. I do like spending some time on the ship. So some sea days is also good too.
Okay. All right. Y'all got jumbled for a set, Mike.
My beer just
Beer delivered.
cheers. I don't want to get kicked out of the group here, but I like port after port after port. But also, I agree with Bob. If it's on water and floating, we're good to go. But I like to shop for if we're going to the Caribbean, I like to find the ports that are going to have the excursions that I like. If it's adventure or tours or anything like that. So that's pretty much how we pick our cruises.
Okay. What about you, Miss Hani? Did you switch to your phone or something, or Hani?
Hani's on the laptop, I think.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. I'm trying to switch to my laptop. Give me just a second.
Gotcha. I'll let you go. All right. I think with me right now, I'm pretty much the only one in this position. My wife has been on 25 cruises. I'm trying to look for ports right now where she hasn't been there either. So just so I can we both have that, never been there. It's something because she's been to like Cozumel, Western Caribbean so many times where that's kind of out for us now. And that's where all our ports go. So right now it's been more like we really want to do the panorama. We want to do more Eastern and Southern Caribbean if we do the Caribbean. So, and I don't care about, I like sea days and you like port days, but right now I'm so new where it's kind of like I want a little bit of everything. But I will take your advice though. I want to do some excursions just for me because I love fishing also.
All right. Sorry, guys. Can you see and hear me okay now?
Yes.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately.
It doesn't enhance my appearance, unfortunately, but
It's better than when you were washed out before the show with all that light.
all right. Well, the connectivity is better on my laptop, so it's something I have to do with my PC. I'll worry about it later. As long as you guys, you're not chopping up, so I can actually hear you guys now. So.
Oh, good. You know your name, you got Family Feud, right? Are you trying to be Steve Harvey?
No, hang on, bro.
That mustache isn't powerful enough to host Family Feud. I'm sorry. I don't either, but it's not.
You're not kidding me either.
It's not bold enough.
Hang on, I'll be right back. Let me fix that.
As Hani keeps on going in and out.
A promise or a threat?
Exactly.
Yes.
So, TJ, if
Yeah.
Kayla's been on 25 cruises,
Yes.
I pretty much think she's hit just about every port.
Here's the thing. A lot of those 25 from just talking to her have been mainly what's been out of New Orleans and Galveston.
Okay.
So it's like she's been to Cozumel, Roatan, Honduras more times she can count. So
Usually any cruise in the Caribbean stops at Cozumel.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Nassau or Freeport. They're all part of the itinerary.
Exactly. That's what goes out of New Orleans. And like the cruise, I think almost all y'all are doing the big vlogger cruise in 2023. We were supposed to do that cruise for New Year's Eve this year on the same ship, same itinerary. It's just the bad thing is I could do that there, or I could drive to Galveston just to get on the bigger ship and do the same itinerary. So that's why we've been looking now, going now Port Canaveral, Miami. We were supposed to do London this summer originally on Legend, and do out Dover, England. So that's what we're kind of looking. I'm pretty much whenever I see something unique, I bring it to her attention. Like maybe we should do this.
Yeah, I think everybody that since us all being not able to cruise for so long, I think like the out of the ordinary cruise is going to be like on top of everybody's list.
Oh yeah, we had so much research time.
True. The back-to-back, side-by-sides, whatever, I think there's a group that's going from Baltimore to driving to New York. Yeah, that actually sounds fun to me, but unfortunately, my kids are in school at that time. So.
Has anyone ever done an international cruise? So Sarah and I are doing a lot of the Caribbeans, and we'll probably do some cruises out of Long Beach, and maybe at some point we might hit Hawaii. But we're also talking about expanding and going into you know,
The Mediterranean.
not sure where, but some international. Have you guys done any?
I haven't done any international cruising, but like you, Bob, we're putting the Mediterranean on the list for 2023. It's going to be it's definitely on our list for 2023 to a med. And when we go, it's not going to. We want to find one that's like 10 days or longer, or do like a back to back somehow, because to fly all the way from California to Europe, and only to go on a 7-day cruise is
you need more time.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely 2023. We're doing Hawaii this year now. Well, now it's this year. As long as we cruise, we're doing Hawaii this year in October, 15-dayer.
Oh, really? Which line are you doing that with?
On Carnival out of San Diego. It goes out of San Diego, sails to Hawaii, visits like five stops, and then sails back.
That's pretty cool. I'm still
like
new.
17 days, right? 17 days going to Hawaii.
Oh, that'd be so.
Yes, it's 5 days. It's basically 5 days there. You hit 5. You make 5 stops, and then it's 4 days back. You got to go to Ensenada because of the.
Got to touch foreign soil.
Yeah, you got to touch foreign soil. So then you stop, and then the next day you're back. So.
Okay. Well, Cuse Cruisers had a good question. In your opinion, when do all the men think cruising will resume?
Ooh.
I'm gunning now. Me and Bill talked about this. We both think September now. I'm really with testing, and we haven't even started that yet. With a new administration moving in 2 weeks, that's what I'm thinking.
I think it's very, very dependent on how quickly they distribute vaccine, right? Because I don't think the cruise lines are going back to cruising in any capacity until there is a substantial herd immunity going around. That's my opinion. And because if you think about it, we've seen there was a ship, where was it, in Singapore, right? All it takes is just one case. And here in the United States, if it happens once, that's the end of cruising, right? The CDC will just shut down the cruise lines again. So I think the cruise lines, they're getting ready, they're preparing, but I don't think they're until there's. So if that's July, August, September, October, that's when I think we're going to see cruising again. I saw some financial analysts that said they don't think cruising is going to cruise at all in 2021. So
that's what my fear is too, because we're booked in July. And then on Wednesday, when they announced all the extra canceled cruises, it just made us think, okay, well, we're going to be next down the line.
Yeah, we're booked in May, and it's just inevitable that with the way things are right now, unless there's some miraculous improvement, not going to happen.
Yeah,
right.
We do have vacation with Rich and Pam. They're actually port employees, and they haven't heard anything about going back. And the way he described about what they're going to have to set up just before they can board the ship and the logistics of doing everything, it's not going to be an overnight task. It's it's definitely going to take some long hours, some man hours, and it's definitely going to be a different boarding completely. And they haven't even started. So people that unfortunately, like, I'm thinking that the third, maybe fourth quarter of this year. That's if it even happens. Like you said, if it even happens in 2021, I do believe that Europe's going to far exceed us in back to cruising.
Well, I heard MSC, they're planning on going back with 2 ships that are running a months ago. In this month, they're planning on start resuming.
In the United States?
No, in the Mediterranean. Like they're going to resume there first, but the same 2 ships, I forget the days, but the same 2 ships they were doing. But for us, like we had Horizon in June. We kind of got through the grapevine for 2 different travel agents that you're not going, you might want to book Mexico. So we already have a Mexico trip booked instead of the same dates as that cruise. We just know it's going to get canceled at this point.
Yeah, we haven't booked anything for 2021. We're not going to book anything until they start going again. So it's too disappointing being told a month before you're getting ready to cruise that it's been canceled. So
Sure.
Yeah, we've had 13 cruises canceled.
Ouch.
and you only get the credit on one, right? One
And you
time.
only get yeah, and then the last one that we got, I will to say for Carnival. So the last Carnival cruise, that two of them that just got canceled, they were back to back on the Panorama, and we had built up so much like onboard credit from other cruises that we had between those two cruises, we had about $1,600 in onboard credit, and they didn't transfer it all to our Hawaii cruise, but they did transfer a hefty portion of it to our Hawaii cruise in October. So that, and they didn't have to do that, but they did. So I think they're trying to accommodate people the best they can. But once our Panorama cruise is canceled, and we had a Princess cruise canceled, we had the Panorama for February, and then our April Princess cruise canceled. After that, we didn't rebook anything, because it's like Bill says, it's just too disappointing to keep booking and canceling. It's funny because in February, this past February or March, we were supposed to go on the Panorama, and it canceled 2 weeks before we were supposed to go. And I said, well, you know what? Let's just take that and we'll book a cruise in August. We'll do a back-to-back out of Galveston on the Vista. No problem. This thing will all be done by August.
I think that's how we all were during the summer. I remember when I had Panorama canceled
2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's how we were. In May, I had a cruise on Panorama the day after Kayla got out of school. Like, that was our big thing. It's like second wedding anniversary. We're going on the Panorama. It got canceled. Oh, no, it'll be good by July. Let's do the July 4th cruise on Panorama. So we not only rebooked the cruise, get different flights from another airline, get different hotels, get everything set up. Like, oh, what's going to happen? Now I have a second set of flight vouchers on top of everything. So,
It's hard to keep track of all this stuff too. You got credits here, and
yeah,
you don't even know what you have out there. I'm sure
Carnival.
we got airline credits that we'll probably never even use.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of airline credit now too, and the thing is Carnival is not exactly the quickest company at like refunding your money.
oh God, no, hell no.
They hang on to that money for as long as they possibly can. It's crazy.
Well,
And then they want you to rebook so they can hold on to it longer.
So we finally canceled Panorama. I called 2 weeks later after seeing all that dreadful hold for an hour and a half. I was like, hey, I canceled my cruise. I want to get a, what's going on, update on it. They're like, oh, we have you canceled in the system yet, sir. Let me do that while I'm on the phone with you. I'm like, what the? Like, are you I was like, it took us like 4 months after that to get our money back. Like, I remember just wanted to be at work like, oh, finally, great. I've already booked their vacation that I could have used this money for. Thank you for that.
Do you guys typically fly the same airline? That way, if one cancels, you can just use that credit for the next, or do you shop around and just use multiple airlines?
We fly, we if we have credit, because we fly Southwest, because for business I fly, so I've always got like points with Southwest. So Southwest is so we always book with Southwest, always, unless it's someplace they don't go. But now they pretty much go anywhere now.
They're my favorite airline, but we still go with price.
Yeah.
Free drink coupons,
And you can bring luggage, right?
You're right. Free bags. Free bags unless you're traveling with Kimberly. Then we're always
sometimes the cheapest price in airlines is not the cheapest price when you figure in all that. So what you're going to pay for extra baggage and everything.
All right. Thank God Kayla has missed, she is not going to spend extra money on stuff like that. So she's missed, like, we have to scale everything. We know everything's at. Like, she knows every trick in the book with that.
They changed the rules overnight.
So what's the shortest cruise you guys would do? Would you do a 3-day or 4-day or a 5-day?
We do 3 or 4 days because they're so close, right, to us here in LA. So normally every every Christmas, we jump on like a 3-day or a 4-day, like right before Christmas, right? Just before, not over Christmas, or right before Christmas, just to kind of break up the kind of craziness of the holidays. But that's easy because it's literally, you know, it's an hour and a half drive to the Port of Long Beach, you know. So, I mean, they're 3 and 4 day cruises. They're truly booze cruises, right? It's just 3 and 4 days of just, you know, a lot of people getting smashed. They're consuming as much alcohol as you possibly can in that 3-day period. So you see a lot of that. You see a lot of like really smashed people, but it just breaks it up. And you know, and generally it's not expensive. You know, we can go on a cruise for $500 or $600, you know, for 3 days and just get away, and then come back and reset for the holiday.
Yeah, we're the same way as Brad because we're about an hour and a half away from Long Beach as well. And we hopped on Inspiration and Imagination and did those Ensenada and Catalina cruises. And they're awesome. They're on the fantasy class ships, so they're cheaper, but
not
we'll
anymore.
See how it is next year because those ships are gone. But
not anymore.
It's convenient to just take a 3 or 4 day cruise. And yeah, we'll get the drink package, and we're those people that are drunk and fall by the last day.
Yeah, so for us, we typically have to travel to get to the cruise port. Now, you know, New York City is about maybe 5 hours. If we went to Boston or Bayonne's about 5 hours too. So we typically 6 days would be the absolute minimum. We're hoping for 7 days. But when you guys book, what type of room do you typically get?
For us, it's always at least a balcony, at least. You know, and that's just our preference. I do, you know, I stayed in an inside cabin once, as Joe Piscopo said, and Johnny Dangerously, once. that was it. I didn't enjoy it at all. I don't like that closed in feel. I know some people love it because they sleep real well. I sleep real well I actually keep the door open sometimes. I just like having access to the outside, right? Like in the mornings to go out on the balcony and we'll go out there and order like the continental breakfast for room service and sit out there and, you know, drink coffee and have some croissant. And so, you know, but when you're on those fantasy class ships, like Mike was saying, like the Inspiration and the Imagination, the only balcony rooms on those ships are suites. Now, so when we did travel on those ships, we just got a window, because to me, it's not worth it to pay an extra $400 for a balcony on a 3-day cruise.
Right.
So that's the only time that we would not get in a balcony room. You know, we're real fond of the aft balcony rooms too, on the aft of the ship. For a Hawaii cruise, we have an aft balcony, which we think is going to be friggin' awesome.
Yeah,
we had a cruise.
It kind of just depends on how excited we are on the cruise. For those 3-4 day cruises, we don't mind getting an interior because we're going to spend most of our time out in the casino, on the Lido deck, and the Serenity, anywhere that there's something fun happening. So we really just, on the shorter cruises, use our cabin only for sleeping. So that's how we kind of justify.
Sometimes Mike uses the lounge chair for sleeping as well.
Yeah. We passed out.
I think it depends on the cruise ship itself, because like we did Vista, I've never done a balcony yet, but on Oasis we're doing Harmony of Sea hopefully in November, and interior balcony is pretty cheap compared to it. Like it's only $200 more than a interior, really, and don't mind doing that. My thing is I'm claustrophobic, so I did my first cruise ship kind of like Brad. Was a regular interior? No. Well, one time I told Kate I will pay the extra money just so I can at least have a window so I can see outside. But no, I don't mind. I can't wait to do a balcony, but I have to have a window at this point.
What about you, Bill and Lucy? What do you guys?
I go where I'm told. I don't really have. Her being a travel agent, she wants to try every room on the ship at least once.
Yeah.
So, you know, just to be able to tell people what it's like. So it's wherever I'm told. Yeah, works with me. As long as I'm on the ship, I don't really care. So I did like the porthole. I liked it because you can see out, but there's also like a foot and a half wide area that you can use for storage.
Yeah.
So I did like that because I don't like waking up and stepping over crap in the middle of the night. So that was a nice thing about having that.
Hani, what do you prefer?
Well, I didn't really have a preference before. I'm one of those, I don't care. I don't spend that much time in my room, people that some people hate, but I don't. I really don't. I don't care because it's just a place to pass out. But moving forward, just because things have changed, right? There's the chance of me possibly being locked in my room or quarantined in my room changes that dynamic for me. So my thought is either do I wait until things go back to normal, or do I, if I'm going to cruise, I'm going to have to take that into consideration. An interior would just not cut it in that particular case. Would an ocean view? Probably not. So I'd probably look towards a balcony if I was to cruise again under these circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
Yeah,
Very good point.
even if you're quarantined, you're still getting days on your card. So if you're getting close to that diamond level.
Yeah, I just
on them too, right?
There's Mike always looking at the silver lining.
Yeah.
When they first started quarantining, I said that. I'm like, wow, where else can you what better place can you be like locked down on a cruise ship? And then you see these people that were in their rooms for like 14 days.
No,
out of the rooms.
the family of four that was in the interior for 14 days. That's hell to me.
Yeah. You know what changed my mind about it was just seeing the people that got stuck in their rooms in Cancun during that hurricane, right? And the paltry amount of food that was sent to them. I mean, I don't know. I just felt like they were kind of prisoners, though they were on vacation. And the argument could be made, well, I'd rather be here than at home. I would make the argument that no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to be stuck in my room being fed a dry sandwich and crackers or whatever the case was. So that just throwing something else out there, another thought. To people, it's easy to say I don't care as long as I'm on vacation, but when you're there, I bet you those are the same people that are going to complain and write to Carnival and complain to the news and things like that. So I don't know. That's just my thought.
I think Blaine made. I'm sorry, Bill. Blaine made a good point. He says, I don't think they'll have as many interior rooms when we go back due to the chances of that. Plus, they will have less capacity, which means less cheaper and smaller rooms. So I think that's a good point. I know that the initial plan for the cruise lines was to go back at like 50% capacity and all balcony, no interior rooms. So I don't know if when they do start cruising, if they're going to go with that.
The way we start is the way I think we've already seen it. The way MSC's been doing it in the Mediterranean, it's all been balconies. It's every other balcony, and they actually have some of them are set where you have certain floors will have people on them, so you have that gap. I think we've already seen how it is. It's just when it gets over here. What I'm waiting to see is when we do go back to cruising, how people complain, even though we know what's going to happen. We know there's going to be masks on ships.
Yeah.
Things like mustard's going to be completely different, which I think is great, honestly. The fact, like, if we're like everything is like Royal Caribbean saying, in your room, mustard, thank you, God. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, the interior mustard. But you know what'll happen, what's going to be great is because, cruise lines love to pilch from each other. Yeah. So eventually they'll all go to that virtual muster drill. So what a godsend that'll be, because there's nothing worse than having to go to muster drill, especially if you're on a ship where you got to go stand outside, right?
That's my
and you got people that are just already completely shit faced.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Out there.
You're sweating, and there's people, So yeah.
My first one was outside in freezing rain, poor New Orleans, everybody shit housed. It's like, and they're trying to keep everybody in order. Like, no, everybody stand up here. It's like, dude, we're all been drinking before we got on the ship. So, no.
So what's the first thing you guys do when you get on a cruise ship? So the first thing that we do is we'll head to the bar and grab a drink and walk around. I would imagine that's probably what everybody does.
We find the first drink. We find the first bar. and then just kind of walk around. Usually head up to the Lido deck and head up out by the pool and, you know, get some fresh air, stuff like that.
Kids with cruise life. It's Carnival. We're going to our room, and I already got a bottle waiting for me in there, and I fixed a drink right in my room.
Betsy and I, we like to board before the rooms are even available. So we hit that atrium bar, get a Long Island iced tea, and we start exploring. Go up to the Lido deck. By the time we get up there, our drink's gone. Then we'll hit a margarita or a fun ship, something up there by the pools, and then we'll drink on that, sip on that.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's the one thing is, you know, we're platinum with Carnival now. So the best thing is we can immediately get on the ship and boom.
Yeah, they're still cleaning the other rooms when you're walking to your room, right?
Yeah, so we can drop.
You're stepping over, and
you can drop. Yeah, you can drop all your, if you bring a bag on or something, you can drop it all off. So that's cool, which is weird because we went on Princess because we're not their platinum level or emerald, whatever they call their levels. I don't even know. And you really find out when you get on another cruise line where you can't do this. Like, oh, this sucks.
Here's one thing Bill said earlier that he likes to do, like pick excursions by himself. What's something that everybody likes to do without their significant other on a cruise ship? On a cruise or without, like just by yourself, without your wife or girlfriend, spouse.
Where she goes, I go. We do.
Yeah, we're kind of tied to the hip.
You're kind of hip hop.
Somebody's got to pick her up, you know.
So Kimberly likes to gamble. I'm not a big gambler, right? I'm not a big casino guy. I mean, every now and then I'll go and I'll play some blackjack. So she'll go gamble, and that's when I take time to go film a bunch of B-roll, right? If she's in the casino, so I'll just grab the camera and just walk around and just grab a bunch of B-roll footage. So that's really the only thing that we do separate from each other is if she's gambling, you know, I'm usually walking around filming B-roll. That's about it. Otherwise, we're usually together.
Okay.
Is there anything that you guys are forced to do by your wife while you're on board? I had one. What do you guys think about these pictures that I don't know if your wives are into the pictures like mine is.
Oh God, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of my wife's things. And every time we walk by a photographer or formal night, we got to be there an hour early and get the pictures done. And then the next day we got to go look for all the pictures. Two formal nights, you know, you're talking about at least probably 8 hours out of the cruise, and then you got to go buy them on the last day, the day before we disembark. You got to pay for them all
and get raped.
Oh God, yes.
And just absolutely you get raped for the pictures. Now, the one thing that we don't do is we don't do both formal nights, right? No. We just sometimes we don't do either. But most of the time we'll do one formal night. And then sometimes we'll have pictures taken. We like to have funny pictures taken. Like we had one, we were on our, I think it was our Breeze cruise a couple of years ago. We had one taken where they have the railing for the ship that you can stand in front of. Yeah. So we did this one where I was pushing her.
Awesome.
Yeah. They even have one where they'll try and schedule you. We've never done it, but I've seen vlogs on it. And it can run $1,000.
Hush, my wife might hear.
You don't want to do that one.
Oh, she heard it.
They take you downstairs to a private room, and it's like a whole 2-3 hour thing.
So when you guys are talking about formal night, what cruise line are you talking about? Is it Carnival?
Yeah.
Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Princess, any of them.
Yeah, I guess. Well, he's only been on NCL, so that's formal night.
Formal night. That's what I'm aware of.
NCL's a little bit different. They're really into that kind of their whole modus operandi is very freestyle. They were the first one to introduce freestyle dining, or your time dining. But yeah, all the other major cruise lines have a formal night where you get dressed up some people wear tuxedos, but most people wear a tie and a jacket, and the girls get dressed up in their dresses, and it's It's a big
It's
to-do.
fun. The ladies love it.
But you go as low as a polo and slacks. Like I've done that before. Polo slacks, nice shoes. Like I've done that.
Oh yeah, you don't have to dress up. You don't have to dress up for. I mean, you don't have to dress up at all if you don't want to. The only thing, if you want to, I mean, dining room, you have to have like pants on. But they could even be jeans, right? And like a collared shirt. But
collared shirt. At least what I'm not allowed to wear jeans, but I have. The only thing I hate dress shoes because my time at the carb is, so I have like this really, really nice pair of Chuck Taylors that I wear for formal nights that I get away with. So, but yeah, formal nights like the lobster night, Bob, or like it's the real ritzy night.
Yeah, filet mignon or lobster. So.
See, one thing I found out, if you do like a New Year's Eve cruise, you get 3 formal nights during the 7 days.
So speaking of like a New Year's Eve cruise, one of the things that Sarah and I want to do, we want to go on a holiday cruise, New Year's Eve, maybe Christmas, maybe Thanksgiving. Have you guys done any of those type of cruises?
Just Halloween.
Yeah, New Year's Eve is fun. It's the most expensive cruise of the year on a ship. That's the only problem, but it's a lot of fun because you do get like the whole New Year's Eve. Like you usually get additional, like Carnival, you get additional formal night, which is New Year's Eve, a different show. They do a big thing out in Lido for the countdown, a lot of different shows. And also you get to see the ship both ways. You see it dressed up for Christmas, and like after New Year's Eve, once you hit New Year's Day, everything's gone in one night. So you get to see the ship kind of 2 ways that day. So it's kind of neat with that. But very expensive. Because
Mike, you said you did Halloween, right?
Yes.
And yeah, I saw you guys were dressed up, right? That was the night you guys got dressed up a couple times, right?
Every day, right? So I think I showed that. I think you guys got dressed up every day. I showed that when we had you as a live.
That's right.
Yeah, Halloween cruises are great.
Mario and Luigi, pirates, cats, zombies. I forget what else. A bunch of other things.
You drove to the airport, right? With all the luggage?
To Houston and then drove to Galveston. Ubered to Galveston, rather.
Okay.
Yeah, Halloween cruise. Our Halloween cruise on Princess, I will tell you, it ranks up there in probably the top couple cruises we've ever done. And a Halloween cruise on a cruise ship is it was a blast. They threw a hellacious Halloween party.
Yeah, we were scheduled with the group cruise with Tony and Jenny and Sharon C. But Halloween was going to be on the last night of the cruise.
Ooh, that's a rough one.
Yeah. That got canceled anyway. But
that's how New Year's Eve was going to be for us. It was going to be last day of cruise on breakaway. So I was not looking forward to driving back home from New Orleans after being that hungover. That's one thing about New Year's Eve. They give you all the free champagne you can stomach on New Year's Eve.
Not a big champagne drinker.
Yeah, I'm not a big champagne drinker either.
Not either, but it's free. I have to take it.
Ruth Todd wants to know, when does the dirty talk start, or is that just for the women?
We're trying to be good.
How does everybody want it? Do you want it or you fold it?
Yeah, you guys fluffers or folders?
All right, I'm out. Bye, guys. I said my contract specifically stated no freaking toilet talk, or I'm out.
All right. Let's talk about the bed
for the damn cabin wives. Hi, Ruth Todd, and happy birthday, Steve. Sorry, guys, real quick. Hi, Ruth Todd, and happy birthday to Steve Morales. They just
happy birthday. It's Steve Morales' birthday today.
Now they always push the 2 beds together.
Yes.
Bothers the hell out of me. I don't know about you guys, but when you're paying the kind of money for, like, Brad, you've had suites. Are they still the same way in a suite? I've never had a suite. They still push them together.
Push them together.
Yeah, because those beds have to be they have to be able to accommodate all types of situations. Like if you go with your buddy, well, not me at least, I'm not going to sleep in the same bed as my buddy, but so they have to be able to accommodate. What's that?
You aren't sharing a bed?
Not with my buddy, that's for sure.
Bro, I mean, if it's a king size bed, you get this side, you get that side. Don't roll to the middle.
Honey, that's not what you tell me. That's not what you told me the other day.
Yeah.
Is that because now we're on YouTube? Is that why you're changing your story?
That's just for photos.
Yeah, whole different story.
A whole different story.
Exactly. That's Polo Hani. YouTube Hani says no.
YouTube.
They're the two things that bother me in cruising is the beds pushed together and the pictures. Other than that, everything else is wonderful.
But the one thing I will say, is that I have never ever been on a cruise ship where the bed was uncomfortable.
No.
Yeah.
Ever. The beds, I don't know, man. The beds are so comfortable for some reason. I don't know if it's just the bed with the combination of the movement of the ship. I don't know, but I sleep so good on a cruise ship.
Do you sleep or do you pass out?
But that
A
down,
little of both.
you
A
sleep.
little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
I think most of the time because you're just passing out in the bed, so you're
Exactly. You're exhausted. Either you've been in a port all day, walking in the heat. It's just like when you hit the bed.
Totally drunk in a midday passed out drunk nap is amazing. Sometimes on a cruise ship, like that is just everything.
Well, you know what? What's funny is we we always used to do late. We always used to do late dinner, and now it's like we've stopped doing late dinner. Now we'll either do freestyle dinner or we'll do early dinner because God, by the time you get to late dinner, it's at like 8:30 or something, and you get done and it's like 10 o'clock, and you're like, what do you want to do? Oh, gosh.
Supposed to get
back in the like 10:30.
Name from Midlife to OK Boomer.
No, what do you guys usually do after dinner? Did you go like the piano bar, to shows?
Yeah, we like the piano bar. We love to hit the piano bar.
Yeah, so do we.
We love the piano. The piano bar is always just a great time. So that's probably our preferred place. Or we'll go to the Alchemy bar, like on Carnival. We'll go to the Alchemy bar before dinner. We'll have dinner and then go back to the Alchemy bar and then go to the piano bar.
Kayla, her favorite thing is the show. So after dinner, it's go change real quick, run to a show. Then she's pretty much like, I'm going to bed. You do what you want. So, I mean, so that's pretty much her thing. But that's her favorite thing is the show. So I'm dragged to that.
Did you guys ever go to the nightclubs at all?
No,
I have a few times.
Yeah. I've been in the past. I haven't been to a nightclub on a ship though in wow. I mean, a long time. Actually, on the Princess ship we were on, they didn't even have a nightclub.
Really?
Yeah, really? I mean, they took it out because nightclubs I guess are kind of passé now, right?
Yeah, we went one time on a bar crawl, and we felt like so old in there. It was like, all right, let's go. Yeah, that was about it.
Yeah.
But how about the comedy club? You like the comedy clubs?
Comedy,
yeah. The late night one where it gets a little R-rated.
That's the best one.
That's the best one.
We'll pop into the karaoke bar every now and then to watch because sometimes somebody gets up there and they just blow you away.
Or they completely destroy a song. It's just hilarious. So, I mean, it's one or the other.
You either see the best of the best or you see the worst of the worst. But you know what?
It's irritating.
People get up there and they you know what? They get up there and they do it. So, but yeah, I mean, I've seen some people. I was like, wow. They just blew me away.
It's like Thirsty Thursday karaoke. There's Lorelei, Fisher, and then there's everybody else.
Everybody else, exactly right. Yeah, she can sing.
She can sing.
Yeah. She can really sing. So,
now, do you guys all have like a favorite ship that you've been on, or multiple times, or looking forward to going back onto, or?
Well, you know what they say, Bill. Multiples are always better, but
yeah.
Oh, maybe that's for tomorrow's show. Sorry.
I don't give a shit.
I know at this point we'll get on any ship, but
yeah. I don't know that it's a particular ship that I like. There's certain, like with Carnival, my favorite class of ship is the like the Spirit class ships, the Legend, the Spirit, the Pride. I just love those ships because they're not mega big, but they're not small. They're kind of in between. And I just love the layout of those ships. That's my favorite class of ship that I've been on. And then the Princess ship we were on last year before last was we went on the Royal Princess. Just, I mean, opulent. It was amazing. The ship was amazing. They used the medallion, right? This medallion thing that you wear on your wrist or around your neck, and you pay for everything with it. It's like a little coin thing, right? Get you into your room, right? When you get like within 6 feet of your room, it unlocks your door automatically. So that was the technology was cool. But yeah, for me, I've never been on a ship that I can't say that. The Carnival Splendor. We went on the Splendor the last cruise before she went to dry dock and went over to overseas. That was just a bucket. That thing was a bucket, man. We had a great time. The cruise was great, but the ship, it was just a bucket.
Yeah, I like the Conquest class myself. So I've never been on a ship yet with like 6,000 people. 3,000 is my limit. I like that.
we went on the Oasis, on the Royal Caribbean Oasis. The ship itself was amazing. Just the way it's laid out, it was beautiful. But never again.
No.
Nah. To me, it's a poor design. The fact that you've got this gigantic ship and you've only got 2 sets of elevators in the front and in the back. No elevators in the middle of this giant ship. So I mean, and it was, a marvel of technology. But and it wasn't crowded with like 6,000 people. You never felt crowded. I didn't like the fact, just the whole way it was laid out. You just had to like walk so far to get anywhere. Yeah. So that was just, personal preference. I know some people love those ships, and it was beautiful and amazing. But if somebody gave me a free cruise on the Oasis, I'd go.
Right now, if it's the only free cruise, then you'd be on it.
Yeah, I would. I wouldn't probably go out of my way to book it again.
TJ, Sarah has a question for you there.
Yeah, pretty much so. TK, can you ask the guys if they've ever participated in a contest on a cruise? If yes, which one of them have, and if they've ever won?
I was on Carnival Splendor, and the comedy show before it started. The one of the fun squad was calling people up to do a little demonstration. They didn't say what it was, so I volunteered. I went up on stage, and she brought up another lady too, and then another couple for us to compete against. And so she demonstrated. She jumped up on me, and I grabbed her, and then she just started like dry humping me. And she's like, okay, so now this is your partner. When I say go, you guys are going to on stage, and we're going to count how many humps you get, and the one with the most wins. And,
Damn, Mike.
Wow, that sounds like a good time.
Damn.
There was another time, too, on Magic where I had to shake my ass on stage during the Welcome Aboard show. And then, there's that one, too. So
Mike is on a cruise ship.
On stage, I think the Carnival Fun Squad likes that.
I haven't seen the dry hump contest on a ship ever.
No,
I haven't seen
it. She just brought it up on the spot. She just made it up. So
wow,
dry hump contest. Yeah. That definitely sounds like a carnival. Something that happened in the Quest. So
fourth rated R comedy show.
Has anybody ever done that on Carnival Quest?
Yes, yeah. But one real quick, my first ever, I've done a lot of contests, but the first cruise I ever went on when I was single, the Elation back in '99, they had like a singles night. I think it was the first night, if I remember correctly. And what they did was they had all the guys on all fours, as chairs, and then the single women surrounded us in a circle, and they used us as musical chairs. And then, as whoever was left off of a man chair when I had to go out. So anyway, myself and another girl ended up winning. And then what they did was then they had us go dance with each other. And then every song we had to go and grab. I had to go grab a female. She had to go grab a male. So by the end of the night, we both got to dance with multiple people. And then those people were people that we were able to talk to and hang out with throughout the ship. And I thought that was really cool. So I don't know if they still do that, but I thought that was a neat contest.
Yeah, I haven't ever won anything on a ship. I don't know. We don't get. Sometimes we'll play trivia just if we have to be walking. We don't ever go, oh, it's trivia, let's go play. We always seem to get involved right in the middle. We'll be walking by and they're playing trivia. Oh, let's just jump in and play. So
yeah, we have 3 of the ships on the stakes, but they're all from trivia. So we enjoy the trivia.
That's funny, Bill. You don't look that smart.
No.
No.
There we
I
go.
have my wife.
There we
I'm
go.
married up. Definitely married up.
Bill, I can confirm that. I can confirm that.
I still hate that beach.
Hey, we all married up.
Yes,
Mhm.
we have.
We all married up.
Well, shit. My first Carnival cruise, 10-hour fog delay. It's the day of LSU played Oklahoma in the playoff game. I found a little bar that I didn't watch the game at. I am probably about 11 beers deep getting on this cruise ship. And we're walking past like a 3-mile long line of people. And I'm sitting like, I'm so happy I married you because I'm freaking platinum on my first Carnival cruise. I'll have to be with the peasants. Saying that out loud in front of people as we're walking on. Not giving a damn.
That's some balls there, TJ.
I think, well, Lewis had from a bunch of Oklahoma fans too, who we just embarrassingly went. I'm decked out full, like I'm at Tiger Stadium LSU mode, so I didn't give a care. But
So what is your absolute your favorite place that you've ever been on a cruise ship?
Port?
What port? What port? What's your absolute favorite port that you've ever been to, and why?
Grand Cape was beautiful. That was the most beautiful port. Just the scenery. I know that's where you're getting the BBD rum from, but we took a tour of the island. I was just like, oh my god, just seeing hell and seeing the Tortuga rum place for the rum cakes, just seeing the beaches. Everything about it was just beautiful, and like I was just stunned the whole time there.
Yeah, Hani likes it for one reason only.
Yeah,
he likes big black dick rum.
Rum. Please clarify that it's rum.
Rum.
I love the paw.
Hani, you're a Grand Cayman as well?
No, so shockingly, no. Half Moon Cay. Key, however you want to pronounce it. I have two. I love Grand Turk because there's some other things that you could do other than just have kind of a beach day. I like Half Moon Cay, whatever, because that really just kind of just turns into a lazy beach day, which you need, especially if for me and my wife, the way we vacation is go constantly. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to have an opportunity to just kind of do nothing for a day.
Mike?
I liked Cozumel mainly because of the experience we had. We've only been there once, but we did the sail, snorkel, and champagne, and it was so much fun. We got so hammered after snorkeling, and then when we got back to the port, it just downpoured, a tropical storm, and that was fun too because we were just so hammered and we didn't care. We were already wet from the ocean anyways. So we just walked around and
it's warm rain anyway. The rain's warm anyway. So, Bill, what about you? What's
besides Half Moon Cay, like a real port is Roatan. Definitely Roatan. We had a great experience there with a private tour and took us all around the island for like 5 hours. And it was just an experience for myself and for our children that were with us to see a different side of the world that they've never seen before. And that what the people down there and how they live, and that they're all really happy. Like, even though they don't have internet, they don't have air conditioning, and they're just all smiling. I don't know if they were just happy to see us because we had money in our pocket, but everybody seemed very happy.
It's great. It's great to show your kids that too, right? Because that's one of the things that I loved. Taking the kids on vacation, out of the country to other places on cruises, or even just down to Mexico, and because sometimes our kids can be like a little spoiled, right? And they're like, you say it could be like this. You could be out selling gum,
right,
to make money, right? So, what about you, Bob? What's your probably your favorite port you've been to?
There's a couple that come to mind. Grand Turks for sure, and probably more St. Martin. When we went to St. Martin, we got off and we just kind of walked around town, met some of the local people. It was kind of fun. rent some jet skis, saw some turtles and things like that. But that was probably the one that we enjoyed the most.
Yeah. So for me, there's two. It's kind of a tie. Well, I can't. There's two on. There's really two in the Caribbean, and then one on the western side. But definitely Grand Turk. The Turks and Caicos to me is just it's amazing. The water is amazing, and diving and snorkeling there is incredible. And then Antigua, right? Antigua was just incredible. We took about a 7-hour catamaran trip around the entire island of Antigua, and stopped in a couple of places, but stopped on this beach and had lunch. And then we could see Montserrat, which is kind of next door, and the volcano was spewing ash out of it. But the island was amazingly beautiful. And then here on the West Coast, Cabo San Lucas by far is my favorite. My favorite place. Cabo's just.
I was looking so forward to Cabo this summer.
Oh, Cabo is it's just so amazing. And we had the last time we went there, we had just one of the best excursions you've ever been on, where
Which one?
Dolphins surrounding our catamaran. Dolphin, like not just a couple dolphins, like 50, 60 dolphins, like just surrounding our catamaran. It was incredible. So
I'm doing Cabo one day. I was really looking forward to Para for so many reasons. And my thing I want to ask next. I know most of y'all in here, I think, Hani, Mike, have y'all ever flown into Cancun before?
Flown into Cancun? No.
Okay. It's for the other three. How much did you hate going through after customs, finding your pretty much your transport, when you had to go through the hell of that section from after customs to outside the airport?
Oh my God! And everybody, they're like hounding you left, and you got every tour operator in the world. They're trying to sell you timeshare. They're trying to. It's insane. This one lady stopped us, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I'm your transportation." Well, she wasn't our transportation.
Right.
Trying to like sell us some timeshare booklet or something. And
I remember we went there for our honeymoon. Kayla never floated in there. Kayla's one person who always, wants to lead the way. And I told her, like, look, we had just got customs. We had called our parents. I looked her dead in the eyes, like, until we get outside and find transport, you follow me. No habla español, no habla inglés the whole time until we get outside. And I just dead on.
Don't stop.
When you get outside, we'll regroup. But until then, it is outside.
Yeah, if you're aware of it, it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
We had been warned, so it's you get off in ports and it's like that where they grab you and pull you in each direction too. Start braiding your hair, or not mine, but
you start braiding your hair, Bill.
Yeah, not this one. The wife.
I'll try.
Yeah. It's just they all want your money. They let them do it in Cancun. They don't push them away from that area. Well, they push them out of the airport and keep them all in that one area.
That one area between
customs and before we went, and we were well aware. I think the Cuse Cruisers had too. Bob and Sarah had, and I was kind of looking forward to it. It was what you guys all made it out to be too. They were right up on you. Our tour had told us to look for somebody in a blue Hawaiian shirt. That was our ride. Yeah. You walk through the door, you're like, everybody's wearing a blue Hawaiian.
Everybody's a blue Hawaiian shirt.
Damn it. I remember everybody was wearing it. Was like called Best Broad, Best Summer. All I remember is they had a red, white, and blue polo that was a cert. Like they told you in the email, like it's gonna be at this design. Here's a picture of the polo, and I was like, just keep walking straight. I'm buying this bus. I'm buying something that says this. But yeah, everybody's got. I think if I remember, everybody was in like a dark blue polo in Travel Agent Hell, which that's what I call that part of Cancun Airport. The bad thing is the other side when you're leaving, it's one of the nicest airports in the world.
Yeah.
When you fly,
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful airport. I remember going to Cancun so long, right? It was in the 1990s, right? And when you went to Cancun, that wasn't the airport. It was like a building, and they didn't have jetways, and you walked down like stairs, and there was like two luggage, areas to get your luggage, little things. That was it. And now it's this huge, big international airport, and it's beautiful. They got that whole shopping mall inside of it.
Guy's Burger.
Guy's Burger.
Margaritaville. Like,
Yeah,
I was
nice.
just like, dang, this is nice.
It's
very
beautiful
nice
down there. Yeah, but you used to have to put your luggage on the plane yourself.
Yep. In the old days. So when Bill and Lucy and myself and Jay and Michelle went there, I mean, we just had a man.
Oh,
we had a ball. We had so much fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it again.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to.
Like cruising's gonna be happening for a little while.
Well, we're going back in June, so.
Well, hopefully cruising might be started by June.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that might just be
the 8-day in June, so that's why we know it's not going to happen. So.
Najuma Brown's in the house. Hey, Najuma Brown.
Hey, Najuma Brown, what's up?
I know a bunch of people we didn't say hi to.
I know.
Which twin, Darren? Which twin?
Let's see. Nurse Nancy's here. Lovey's Fat Life.
Nancy, Margie Butcher, Jonathan.
That's Honey's neighbor. Margie Butcher's Honey's neighbor there in Arizona.
My neighbor. Yeah.
Here's a question for everybody. We've all been pretty much almost everybody here has been to Cancun or can't or hasn't. What are some backup plans you're looking at right now? Because we all want to travel. That's pretty much all our favorite thing to do is travel. Like, what are some of y'all's backup plans this summer for not cruising outside Cancun?
Getting on the next SpaceX rocket. Okay, I think that would be cool. We haven't made any like solidified plans yet. Until we're still waiting to kind of see if the Mardi Gras is going to go. I mean, we're like 99.9% sure it's not. And then once that gets canceled, then we'll come up with a backup plan. I mean, like I say, I would love to go back to Cancun with Bill and Lucy and Jay and Michelle. We just had it was epic. I'll just say that it was there was so like every day there was just a moment, whether it was all of us entertained each other in some way, shape, or form.
Yes. There was not too many dull moments, but that way.
No, we had a good time. So I think we're going to wait and see what happens. And then, like I say, if it doesn't look like cruising's going back anytime soon, then we'll make alternate plans, whether it be, Cancun, Cabo, something.
All right. What about you, Hani?
I think most people know my feeling about land-based vacations, but I'm finally giving in to the fact that I don't think cruising is going to happen anytime soon. So I have to kind of bite the bullet. So I reached out to my travel agent friend and just basically told her, hey, listen, if there's any great deals anywhere tropical that's nice, that has so my biggest thing, all-inclusives, I've always kind of made the point that it'd be nice if they had like a drink package option, so that way I could just buy the drinks. I don't mind everything else being all inclusive. I don't know if that's an option. I know they have it's either all inclusive or not. And anyway, so long story short, I said anywhere tropical from Hawaii to all the way to the Caribbean or whatever. So I'm just looking to see what options are out there. Know that. I had looked at Cancun, but I had heard some negative things coming out of there with the C word, so I was kind of concerned.
You're immune now.
I
was gonna say I'm immune, but my kid not, so I have to take that into consideration.
Kids will be fine.
Kids, they're automatically immune. I know. And Hani and I were talking a little earlier this week, and we were talking about potential places, and we'd mentioned the Bahamas. We had talked about the Turks and Caicos. So like Hani. I mean, I think we're all just kind of open to anything with 85-degree water and sunshine.
Yeah, we were looking at Punta Cana today.
Punta Cana. So these are all. So yeah, because it's like we all want to be cruising, but I mean, I'm one of those guys, man. I can't go too long without a vacation. I start to go stir crazy.
I agree.
So, Brad, are destinations taking visitors? Is Turks and Caicos open to visitors?
I think Turks and Caicos is open to visitors. I'm not sure what their protocol is. Some of the Caribbean islands have protocol where you have to be tested 72 hours before you go there. So obviously, that would have to be, and of course we don't know where we're going to be in a few months either, right?
Well, I just have to go to Nassau. They had to do the test, the big test 3 times before they could go. It's like a 3-week span before they could even fly there.
I know Aruba is taking people, Bob, because that was one of the places that my friend asked me. She said, I guess a lot of people are booking Aruba vacations and asked me if I'd be interested. I said, it's tropical. It's got warm water. It's got, so, but I know Aruba is, but Turks and Caicos, I know they have all-inclusive resorts there, not at Grand Turk. I know there were some that Sarah was actually looking at, but they weren't all-inclusive, unfortunately, so.
I've seen some nice all-inclusives in Jamaica. Do you guys know if they're taking any visitors?
Are we going to Jamaica?
Dang. Mexico it is.
Yeah. The one thing you got to look for right now is how much, like, a lot of places are taking people, but you got to see how much you got to test beforehand. Because a lot of places, they allow you, but you got to do, like, so many CWOR tests before you fly there and be able to present that, hey, I passed, boom, 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 before you go. That was, because shoot, that's the one thing why we didn't begin was because we'd have to test before we got there. Now we're hoping that still stays the same before we go, because do administration taking over, none of us know what's going to happen with that. How that may change travel in the next couple months. So,
well, one of the things that I was scared about when we went to Mexico was what happens if you go up to one of these temperature checks and you're hot?
Yeah.
What happens? Nobody ever explained what their protocol was. I don't even think they were really tested.
Yes.
You go to Mexican jail. I mean, it didn't. I mean, how you're always hot there.
Exactly. And they're all just smiling. They're smiling with this thermometer. Okay, next.
Okay, go ahead. Next.
Well, Bill, I thought the same thing at Universal. Like, what would happen if I show up at the hotel and I'm over 100.3? What's going?
At least through the United States.
But still, I'm at a hotel 700 miles away from my house. What do I do in this predicament now? Do I have to get a rental car and drive my ass home, or
you probably would. You probably would. Yeah,
I'd much rather.
Go ahead.
I'd much rather test beforehand. That was why I was looking at Hawaii, because my buddy went in November and he just had to test. I can't remember X amount of days before he went, and that was it. So for that reason and that reason only is I don't want to get there and then get screwed over because of some false positive or false test or false reading or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're immune now, so you're good to go.
Yeah,
Hani is great to go anywhere.
Hani's
scarlet letter. I'm going to wear a big C on my chest, big scarlet letter.
There you go. It's funny because I was thinking that when we were in Mexico, when we were there, it was hot. It was hot as Hades when we were there, man. And they temperature check you like everywhere you go, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm like just sweating my nuts off right now. How can my forehead not be over 100 degrees right now? Because but I don't know. So we went. I felt much safer in Mexico, quite honestly, than I did here in the United States because they were like so on top of things down there. Like we're driving around in golf carts outside in Isla Mujeres. Right, we're outside on separate golf carts. Bill and Lucy had a golf cart. We had one, and Jay Michelle had a golf cart. And we're driving through the city, headed around. And we didn't have our masks on. We didn't wear a mask. We're in a golf cart in the open air. We're not around anybody. Nope. There's people on the side of the road holding signs. Put your mask on. Put your mask on.
Really?
I agree. Well, Brad, here's one thing. When we were at our theme park trip at Universal, I felt more safe inside Universal Studios property than I did go to the grocery store down by my house because you saw constant clean. If you were just sitting down chilling by yourself, they didn't care if you didn't have your mask on. But if you had your mask on just below your nose, or as I like to call, you had your face stick out, they came out like ninjas telling you to pull your shit up. So, I mean, but like I told, I was like, there was never a time I didn't feel safe here.
I'm still amazed they have that they have amusement parks open at all.
You would be surprised how.
No, I am surprised. I'm totally surprised.
I'm the same way. You don't think I thought about it? Like, damn, go to the theme park, but it's only 35% open. They got security there telling you, like, you need to stay away from there. You need to, you did. What? Oh, thank you. Cut down. But, yeah, I mean, it was. But Florida's wide open. They had 19K yesterday. 19,000. And they have the Super Bowl next month.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that look, here in California, everything's closed. Right. Everything is closed. There's not a restaurant open, nothing's open, nada. Grocery stores are open. Like anything that's like critical infrastructure, grocery stores, gas stations, things like that. But I even like stores are open, like Kohl's and Macy's are open, but they're supposed to only have 20% capacity inside of them. And then you go to Florida, and it's like there's not even a pandemic going on.
Well, because DeSantis don't care. He just wants to get their economy back. I mean, I was talking to my buddy and said the only place that have mask mandates in the entire state are the theme parks.
Yeah, it's like, crazy.
The only place that cares about the people in Florida right now are the theme parks.
It's a tale of two cities, California versus Florida, for sure. I mean, it's crazy, but COVID here is just running rampant. It's just out of control. So we just went back into phase 2 right before we left because we were like up to the day we were leaving. Our governor the day before had has big like I'm gonna do a big press conference, and all it was a warning. And I'm like, okay, don't screw up for 7 days until we get back. You can screw up after we get back. I just don't want to have to come back here and be like doing test after test to get back in my state. So, but yeah, we even scale back. But it's just, I mean, our governor doesn't give any warning. He just like he puts the hammer down. That's it. He just locks everything up. There's no warning. It's just like that's it.
Here's what's weird because we're still under Napoleonic law a lot here in Louisiana. Like we're ass backwards compared to the rest of the country. Is that the whole
shit?
But New Orleans is completely locked down, but the rest state they're in phase like -1, but the rest state's in phase 2. So
California's in phase whatever it is. We're in phase lockdown. That's what phase we're in.
Yeah, we're in day 297 of the 12 days to flatten the curve.
Exactly. 2 weeks to flatten. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Day 297 of the 2-week flattening of the curve. That's where we're at right now.
I'll be honest with you. After having gone through this and with all the precautions, I think with what you're saying between Florida and California, even with the wrench being tightened on everybody's nutsack in California, the cases are still rising. People are still dying at a record pace.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should. I know it sounds really horrible, but the herd immunity approach is happening whether we like it or not. People are just getting it, and we got it, even though trying everything that we can to avoid it, and we still got it. Other people that we know that have tried everything they can to avoid it are getting it.
I think that. Yeah, I think the thing is they were saying that I saw they were saying that look that the actual cases they're probably being underreported.
Oh yeah,
by like 35%. So that there is probably a herd immunity starting to develop. And I don't know. I'm like if I got to spend another goddamn day working out of my house, I'm gonna like.
Well, I think. My last cruise was New Year's Eve 2019. The second last day of that cruise, we went to Jamaica. That whole cruise ship was like 7% of the cruise ship got sick. It was all the symptoms of Mambo 19. I even had it. Like I don't get sick that often, and I was I remember the whole last day, the ship's doing this. I don't get seasick, throwing up, fever, everything you could think of, everything outside losing taste and smell. And it was like 3 or 4 days after that, I got over it. But it was like, retrospect, look back, like, what if, because it was definitely around in probably all the way back to October in 2019.
It probably was.
I think I had it that time period.
Yeah, I am 99.9999% sure I had it in February because I felt like just this nasty cold, right? And it was before COVID was like, it was over in China, right? There'd been like one case up in the Pacific Northwest, and so they weren't really talking about it being widespread. And I got like sick, and it felt like the flu and a cold, and I felt terrible. And I remember Kimberly made this food. She's like, well, how is it? And I'm like, I can't taste it. Like, so I know my smell was fine, but I couldn't taste the food. Right? I couldn't taste the food. And I was sick for like 2 weeks. Right. I actually went and had an antibody test done. Like,
found something to celebrate, did you?
A couple of months after, and they lost my antibody test. They lost it. So.
Yeah, I was the same. I think in February also, I felt really sick and all the same symptoms, fever, headache, nausea. But for me, it only lasted like 3-4 days.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was COVID, but.
That's because you're young. That's because you're young. That's why you're young.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad.
You're young. You're a youngster.
So I think TJ was telling us he was patient zero. I think that was the moral of that story.
It's all your fault, TJ.
The whole thing.
If you saw the pandemic special in South Park, you would know it was Randy banging a bat. That's why the whole COVID started throughout the country. So.
Yeah.
I'm just over it. Just open up. Take your chances.
I'm over it as well.
If you think you're going to get it, stay home and not let the rest of us do what we want to do.
My thing is, like I said earlier, if you could have theme parks open, because it seems like like we all see it, the cruise industry has been attacked more than anything else because Disney World's open, Universal Studios open, every theme park in Florida on the East Coast of the country is open right now.
Aircraft. If you can get to a plane,
is packed. Flying back on Christmas Eve, every flight I was on was packed. If we could do all that, why can't we social distance on a cruise ship where it's going to be constantly cleaned like a theme park, and you could just all you do is make the buffet a restaurant where you order off a menu.
I think it's great. I think it's crazy that they'll pack 200 people on an airplane like side by side, but no problem in an enclosed tube with filtered air.
Recycled air.
Recycle filtered. It is kind of bizarre. I think unfortunately the cruise industry was on the radar because that was like the first big thing that everybody heard was the Princess ship that had all the cases, and that was it. They were doomed right there because then it was like trial by media at that point. Right? The media just jumped all over it, and the CDC panicked, and it was just like, so unfortunate.
And TJ, I think the buffets are better now. We had them when we were in Cancun, and everything's wrapped. Like if you want a piece of pie, it's wrapped with cellophane. Somebody serves you. They're kind of nasty. Like when little kids go up to the buffet and
just like grab stuff with their hands or like reaching in the bread. Or we were on our last cruise that we took. This kid just runs up in front of you, cuts in front of you. It was like the area had all like the sandwich stuff, like cold cuts and cheese and stuff. He just starts like grabbing like pieces of meat and cheese with his hands. I'm going, where's your mother?
I'm always for the way they're changing the buffet.
So I don't mind that at all. I don't mind the fact that, because like Bill said, in Cancun, they served the food to you, and it was fine. And it was good, too, for the most part. The food
That's how the buffet ran, is that they actually, like, you just kind of poured what you want. They just kind of put it on your plate for you, kind of like cafeteria style.
Yeah, so you just tell them what you want. They had taco stations and stuff, and you tell them I want, like, carne asada or chicken or whatever, and they do it and make it and give it to you.
But
they did that at
was racked.
They did that at the Cosmo Hotel in Vegas. It was tapas style, so you just pointed out what you wanted and told them how many, and they just handed it to you, and it was great. And even though they had cut back their number of the servers, like I didn't feel any different. You grab what you wanted, and they still brought out your drinks and that kind of thing. I don't think it's a problem at all.
Not at all. No. There are going to be positives in this.
Yeah, the mustard drill that you guys were mentioning earlier, that should have happened even without the
That should have happened years ago.
That should be an app just on your phone. Watch a video. You watched it completely without skipping. Boom, you're done. That's all it should be.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I think
flip phones. Guess what? You gotta go to the theater or do the damn actual thing. That's all it is.
I think Hani brings up a good point. It's easy to focus on all the negative stuff that's going on, but at the end of the day, there's always a silver lining in all of this, right? First of all, hopefully our country will be prepared for the next one much better, right? Because we kind of got blindsided by this, so hopefully that'll be a positive. But the other positive is, look, I think it's going to change a lot of things in the way we vacation, and I think it's going to change the way we just do our daily lives. I think we're much more conscious now as a group of people about, maybe washing our hands a little more than we used to, right? And just being a little more hygienic. Not that any of us weren't hygienic before, but just being a little more hygienic and so there's just going to be some positives come out of it. I can tell you, and it's revolutionized business in this country where companies have now learned that, hey, you know what? We don't necessarily need to have all this overhead, these office buildings. We've had our people work out of home, and production has been fine. So, in the end, it's going to change a lot of things going forward that are never going to be the same, that are going to be for the positive. And, I'm sure that schools have learned that, virtual learning is not the best way for kids.
Oh, hell no.
But we've got a school teacher in our family too, but you know what, the fact is, it's progressed to the point where it's going to help them going forward with online lesson planning and online teaching when it needs to be done. So there's going to be some positives that come out of it. In the end, I mean, fortunately, for us, we haven't been negatively affected by it in our family yet. Nobody's gotten sick, and financially we haven't been affected. Unfortunately, a lot of people have. Hopefully we get through it. Soon. I hope soon. Change of administration coming. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's definitely going to be a change in the way things are done. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens there.
Agreed. I think and the other good thing about it, I don't think a lot of us would have shows right now or be doing lives. Shows does not happen without all this.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And the other thing is and Hani and I have talked about this many times, is look, had this not happened, this community would not be as strongly solidified as it is right now, right? Had this not happened, this pandemic solidified and kind of brought us all together, and if this not happened, we wouldn't be this close as a group. We probably wouldn't be doing this.
No,
I wouldn't have met any of you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you guys think that once we get to the new normal, that we'll still do lives?
Yes.
Yeah. I think so. I think
a lot drop out.
I think we're going to drop, like Bill said. But I think a bunch of us will still do it. It may be not as frequent, but I mean, some shows maybe do twice a month. I mean, I would like to do it at least from our vacation, but.
Well, I think questions have been asked before, but what would change? I guess I'd like to hear from each person individually. What would change? Because I mean, yeah, we're going on vacation, but even on average, if you're, lucky and able to go 3 or 4 times a month, what will change? Everybody's back to work. I know Mike and Betsy recently are furloughed or whatever, but I mean, everybody's still working, whatever. So I'm just curious why we would think that anything would change in regards to lives.
That's a good question. We started our channel like March, April of last year. And I can't tell you what it was like prior to, but that's when we started seeing everybody going live. So I don't know if before the Mambo 19, if lives were a thing. So I'm wondering if they weren't, will they be a thing once we get back to our new normal?
They were
live
a
with
thing
just the bigger channels. Yeah.
Yeah, they were alive, like with the larger channels, the Lolita Loca, Sharon at Seas, and then out of necessity. Well, we had been talking about doing a live show for a little while, and then when Blaine put the cruisathons together, he asked us to participate with the cruisathons. We thought, well, let's give it a go, and then we had so much flipping fun on this little hour-long live show we did. We made the decision right then that we're going to just keep doing this. But I think what's going to happen is I think Bill makes a point is, look, right now, live shows, there's not a lot of content out there. I think we can all look at our YouTube analytics. Not a lot of people are watching cruising videos right now. It's not, I can look at our analytics and see March, and then beginning of March, middle of March, it's like a cliff that drops off with people watching content because nobody's vacationing. So I think once we go back to vacationing and there's more vlogs, people are going to naturally gravitate towards our content, right? Our cruise content, whether it's cruise vlogs or tip videos or whatever it is. And for some people, I always, in any community, it's like, for some people, they'll drop off. They'll stop doing their live shows. And for other people, they'll continue their live shows. But the way we look at it is your cruise vlogs, when people start watching again, will drive people to your live shows.
Exactly.
Right? If they like your vlogs, and then they find out you're doing a live show every week or every other week or every month, chances are they're going to show up to your live show. So that's what I see in my experience, what I probably see happening. But I think that because a lot of people do live shows now, there's so many live shows I can't even keep up with. There's new people every week, But when we go back, a lot of those people will stop doing live shows.
Well, that would happen whether life's going to get in the way for people. Whether we get back to a new normal or not, there's still going to be, and there's going to be people that are going to take their place. We've all found that we all have something in common with cruising. But now I can see this community branching out of necessity because cruising's not happening, that we got branches going to RV. We got branches going to all inclusives. So it's kind of like we're expanding. So everybody's got different interests. They might like RVing better. People might like land vacations better. But, we still are a community of cruising. So we'll see how this YouTube goes, which direction we all go in. But
I'm sorry, Hani, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I guess my point that I was trying to make is that, to your point earlier, Brad, the people that are consuming our content outside of our little community are not attending our live show. We're basically doing shows for each other and the few, supporters, right, that are in every live. And so I think if you choose to after we have vlogs and stuff, and people are still putting out vlogs, whether you're doing shorts or you have content that's been around a while, and people are still doing that now, and you may or may not be getting somebody. But if you're expecting that that's going to bring people to your live, then why would you stop doing lives? You know what I'm saying? That's why I keep asking the question to people when they say that, like, oh, all of a sudden lives are going to die. Why would they die? Because
they're not. They're not.
Yeah, they're not going to die.
I can tell you, for a fact, and Hani and I have had this conversation before. It's like, look, we all do this, right? We all do this for different reasons, right? Not just us, but all YouTube creators, whether they're in our genre or any genre, whatever they're doing, we all do this for different reasons. Some people do YouTube because they want to make money, right? They go into it, right? Unless you do unboxing videos. If you unbox it, you can make money, right? But some people do it for that. Some people do it because they want to be, I want to say, quote, have some sort of celebrity status and be noticed and that. So it just depends on what you do it for. For us, we don't do it we certainly don't do it to make money. We're we're like way in the red in that. Yeah. But, we do it for a couple of reasons. We started it for the creative outlet, and now we do it because, you know what, we've got such a faithful following that we enjoy it. We have fun with it. The camaraderie with all the other creators. That's what it's become for us. It was never about the money in the first place. Like I say, we give away way more than we make. That's for sure. But so it just depends on these different channels. What's their modus operandi? What's their end game? What's their goal? And I think that kind of dictates for some people what they do as well. When we go back to normal, I know for us, we're not going to stop doing our live show. We have a blast doing our live show. We love it.
One thing that's come out of all this is friendships.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main reasons we're doing this is that we basically had our kids like to hang out with. All our friends are, they all got kids, and this is people that have the same common interests as us, and they want to travel.
It's been all and that's the other thing is, look, I mean, all of us, we got to travel with Bill and Lucy and Jay and Michelle, and we got to meet Hani back in the summertime, and he took a trip out here, and I mean, this is what's phenomenal. And the thing is, look, we all come from different states, from different backgrounds, from different careers, from different political views, right? Mm-hmm. All that gets thrown out the window. Doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. So that's definitely a silver lining to all this. Probably never would have all met each other,
right?
Had this never happened.
And I said we'll never vacation by ourselves again.
No,
we're going to find somebody that's going to want to go on a trip we're going on.
Yeah.
And if you have a bad resort you go to, bad cruise, whatever, you're with friends. Exactly. You're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
That's right.
To go back to Hani's original question, I think as for Betsy and I, we're going to try and keep doing our lives every week because, we really like it. We never thought we'd be doing that at this point. We were planning on doing cruise vlogs. We had 5 cruises canceled, so that's a lot of content that's just gone out the window. So we kind of made up for it by doing camping and hiking videos, but the lives have certainly helped us. And I agree with all you guys that it's made us as a community a lot closer, and we've sure gained a lot of friends.
Yeah, and they had to pay us $500 to be our opening act. So
there is a fine line between this consuming your life and being fun.
Right.
So when we do start traveling and we start putting out vlogs again, so I do believe some people are going to not have enough time for both. Editing, as you all know, takes hours and hours.
Time consuming.
Live streams, putting them together, they take hours too. Yeah. So there is a fine line between.
I can't tell you, Bill, how much time I put into our live streams.
And you're not even putting out content right now. So putting out blogs and getting your live stream together.
I put myself in a box with all these graphics now, man. Now it's like,
well, we love it.
So have any of you guys been out and about, grocery store, airport, whatever, and have somebody recognize you like you're a celebrity? Really? Well, that hasn't happened to me. That's certainly not why we're doing this. I don't know how I'd react. I'd probably be embarrassed. But what was that like, Brad?
So we've had it happen several times, and it's for me personally, I think Kimberly feels the same. She's not this it's odd. It's uncomfortable. It's strange because I don't look at what, I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a guy, just a guy with a YouTube show. That's all. So it's uncomfortable. It was strange. The last time it happened was on our last cruise where this mom wanted to let her daughter take a picture with us because the daughter watched our vlogs. Right. This is before we had a live show, because I'm sure if she'd watched a live show, she would have been singing a whole different tune.
Uh-oh.
Our vlogs are not nearly as racy as our live show, but so we were sitting at the Alchemy bar, and the lady walks up and she's like, "Excuse me, can my daughter take a picture with you guys?" And we're like, "What?" Like not even really thinking about it. It's, "Oh yeah, she watches you guys on YouTube," And then we sat and talked to her for this. She was probably about 10 or 11 years old, this little girl. Then we've had on a breeze cruise. We were in Galveston, in the port of Galveston, at the cruise terminal, and this lady recognized us. So it's strange, it's odd. I don't get it, but it's not certainly not why we do this, is to get recognized at all. So it'll happen though, Bob. Trust me, it'll happen eventually. You'll be on a cruise and somebody will go, "Hey, there's Bob and Sarah."
I'm still waiting for the 8x10 glossy, Brad.
Oh, shoot.
I wonder if that kid's still sub now.
Honey, I told you, you just want the glossy because it's an extra $20 to have it signed.
I want it like Burt Reynolds. Remember when Burt Reynolds did that pose? Like,
Nah, I want the George Costanza.
I know what pose you're talking about.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
But Mike's like, who's Burt Reynolds?
Mike's like, who's Burt Reynolds?
I know who Burt Reynolds is.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Ever.
Oh, TJ too. TJ's a young guy too. That's right.
I know who Burt Reynolds is. Trust me, I got Smokey and the Band on DVD in my house.
But do you know who Lonnie Anderson is?
You don't know who Lonnie Anderson is?
Probably.
Bingo.
Oh boy, you would know her if you knew her.
Yeah, I know you knew her for sure. Just look her up on Google. Do the Google.
Bert's wife.
Bert's ex-wife.
I guess everybody probably wants us to go a little risque. What's something you do that pisses off your significant other? I guess.
Hang out with you guys.
Me, not afraid of it.
I like to intentionally scare her when she's in the shower.
I don't like that. Do that a little bit too.
I'll just, boom! I'll hit the shower curtains like really loud.
I was put on this earth to torture my wife. It's what I do. I do it well. So
I can confirm that.
Anything I can get. I've sent videos to most of you guys. So you can all testify. I do my job.
I can't believe you did not have the video cam in hand when she went down with the.
No, don't worry. Well, there'll be more.
It'll happen again. Don't worry.
Yeah, she found something to celebrate tonight. She's upstairs. She's celebrating something. It's gonna happen tonight.
Lucy says, "I'm watching you eat Mexican ice cream as we speak."
Yeah, we just got the Adobe thing today, and I think I got the computer, but.
Hey, Bill, tell Lucy today's law enforcement day so she can celebrate that.
She's celebrating something. I think it was Egyptian holiday or some sort. I don't know. Got a party going on up there.
She's got a calendar of every. Lucy's actually got a calendar from like it's every holiday around the world is on it. So she's just okay. There we go. So did you say? What do I do? Something that pisses off my wife?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to? I'm going to piss off my wife.
What about something Joe McKnight does to piss off him?
You'd have to ask her. She doesn't complain. She doesn't really complain about much. I'm sure there's a lot of things I do that probably drive her nuts. I'm sure.
The only thing that Sarah doesn't like that I do is I'll mess around with the boys and I get them all stirred up. But other than that, it's all in good fun. I'm having fun. I'm laughing, and she's just looking at me like she's going to kill me. But other than that, there's not much there.
Bob, is give them like one of those big long pixie sticks right before they go to bed.
That's right. Yeah, you got it.
Bob likes to stir up the dog too and get her all wild, and then goes, "Good night, Sarah."
Yep, done that a few times.
We don't have a dog, so I can't stir up the dog, and none of our kids are here, so I can't stir them up. Life is grand.
You're living the dream.
Hey, and I love dogs. It's not that I don't love dogs, but we're so busy that, and we're not lately, but I mean we're busy with work, but we don't have a pet because we travel. When traveling's happening, we travel a lot, and then we're working, and we just don't think it would be fair to the dog. Maybe when we slow down a little bit, when I'm like 100, we'll get a dog.
Seeing eye dog.
I got a dog covered in 3 weeks.
So, Brad, you said you're platinum with Carnival. Do you have to maintain that, or once you hit that status, you always have it?
You always have it. Yeah.
You
It's
do.
just
Or
Okay.
you carry into it.
Yeah, just based on the number of cruise days that you've cruised, and then you don't ever regress.
Yeah,
That's
Okay,
good.
I'll be right
there.
So, Brad, what program do you use for your graphics? Because your graphics are awesome.
I use Adobe After Effects.
That's a subscription.
It is a subscription. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adobe, and what it is it's I have the whole. It's called Adobe. I don't know, Adobe Suite, I think they call it. So it's all the Adobe After Effects, Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Character Animator. There's like, I don't know, 8 different modules and what's great about Adobe that I love is they're all like, they can plug into each other. So if I do a project right within like After Effects, like a graphic, I don't necessarily need to render that graphic. I can just take the actual Adobe After Effects project and import it right into the Premiere Pro program, right? And then render it from Premiere Pro because it renders quicker in Premiere Pro. So, yeah, so that's my program of choice.
How do you learn it? You spend a lot of time on YouTube watching other people show you how to learn the program?
Yeah, I will tell you that I'm one of those guys too. I don't like piecemeal learn. You know, I get something and I got to learn it all in like a day. That's just my personality. So yeah, there's a lot of YouTube videos, and I'm still learning, by the way, right? So I'm still learning. There's still stuff. What I found with Adobe, the Adobe products, is if I can think it up, somebody's at my door, I can make it happen, right? So that's really if I can imagine it, right? If you can imagine something happening or something happening with that logo or something, it's doable with the Adobe products, but it's time consuming, super time consuming. So I did a graphic today, for instance. You'll see it tomorrow at the beginning of the live show. This graphic took an hour to render. Just to render it, right? It took less time to make it. It took about an hour to make it, an hour to render. And I've got like a super duper, fast gaming type computer that renders shit really fast, and it still took an hour to render this graphic. So
No.
it's time consuming to do them, but you know what? I get to flex my creative muscle a little bit with it. That's what I love doing. I hate it, but I love it at the same time, if that makes sense.
So
Yeah, I agree with that.
Brad, what does everybody else use to edit their videos? Like what program?
Well, I don't make my own graphics or anything along those lines. So for my vlogging, I use
Bob pays me.
I'm using that graphic all the time, Brad. It's awesome.
You can use it whenever you want, my friend. You can use it whenever you want.
Well, my question is like, what do you use to edit your videos? Like what software?
Yeah, DaVinci Resolve for me.
Okay.
It's a great program.
And it's easy to use.
Yeah, DaVinci Resolve is a great program. It's very what's the word I'm looking for with DaVinci Resolve, Bob?
Versatile.
It's versatile, but it's labor intensive as well. I find it to be a labor intensive program.
I spent a lot of time learning that program, but now that I've learned it, I can bang through it pretty quick. I don't know everything about it, and there's a lot more I want to do with it. But for the general vlogging video, I can get that out fairly quickly once Sarah and I sit down and we determine what we want to put on the blog itself.
Yeah, it's a great program, but it's and you know what, Premiere Pro has a lot of similarities to it. That the great thing about all the Adobe products is the same thing as the versatility. The versatility of them is incredible.
My guitar.
Mike, what did you say that you used? I think I cut you off. I apologize.
I use Shotcut. It's free software. It's also ad free, and there's a lot of tutorials on it on YouTube. But I think it's similar to DaVinci, where it is a little bit labor intensive. But I've been using it for the past 2.5 years now, and I know all the shortcuts with it. So it's It's like a fluent language to me now at this point. So I just keep using it.
Yeah, that's the thing is when you get used to. So I used to use a program called Power Director, and they had a whole suite of products as well, right? You know, editing and sound and all that stuff. And I got so proficient with it, and then I just kind of wanted to up the game a little bit and get a little more into the graphics and Adobe. I looked at a lot of programs. Adobe to me was the best option for that, and it was like learning Spanish. Right. It was like Cyberlink. The Power Director was English, which I know perfectly. And then I went to Adobe, and I know all. Right. So I'm trying to do like the PowerLink, Power Director shortcuts with Adobe, and I'm like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? Because if I want to like cut a vid, it's not working. So I had to like relearn. Everything.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get into Adobe, just never took that step to buy a subscription.
The problem I have with Adobe is there's so many different software that you almost have to get the suite, right? Because all of a sudden you have you want to do some graphics, you want to do something, and you don't have that particular software, so now you've got to subscribe to that one. That was the challenge for me, which is why I didn't go down that path initially. And we may at some point, but right now we just decided to stay with DaVinci Resolve.
Well, it's the most cost-effective thing to do too, right? Because if you just want to subscribe to Premiere Pro, just the video editing, right? It's like $30, right? I think it's $30 or $35 a month just for the Premiere Pro, where you can pay like another $25, right, and get it all, right? Yeah, so exactly. They almost force you into that because when I looked at it, I'm like, well, that's crazy. It's like $35 just for the but another $60 you can get like the whole kit and caboodle. Well, that's much more cost effective. I mean, I'm glad I did it. Now, like I said, I'm pretty proficient with it now, but I'm still learning. I'm still always learning, and I find new things, and I'll think of something. It's like, well, shit, how do I do that? How do I make that happen? So I'll sit on, and watch 18 YouTube videos on how to do it. And everybody's got to, and what you find is just multiple ways to do things too.
Exactly.
Right? There's multiple ways to do the thing you want to do. So it's like finding, well, which one do I want to use? So.
And then for your Brad, for your lives, do you also use Adobe software to do the graphics and everything? Or is that attached to your keyboard, the little shortcut keyboard that you have?
Yeah. So the graphics are created in Adobe, right? So each one of those little graphics is an MPEG. Or a QuickTime movie if it's got Alpha Channel in it, or maybe even AVI. It just depends. And then they all get connected through OBS into the Stream Deck. So that was a whole nother thing I had to learn. Right, I got the Stream Deck, and I'm like, well, shit, how do I get it? And then I had to learn all that. And actually, Mark from the Cruise World and I we sat on the phone for probably an hour one day because he's got a Stream Deck, kind of like throwing around ideas and about the Stream Deck and Adobe and graphics, and I taught him some stuff. I learned some stuff from him, and that's the cool thing about this community too, right? Is we're like sharing knowledge about because he's a pretty proficient guy with Adobe as well. So
I think the next thing I'm going to invest in is a Stream Deck. That way I'm not sitting here clicking with a mouse. It's already programmed. Just hit the button.
What are you using to do your live broadcast, Bobby?
vMix.
vMix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the software. It catches me off guard once in a while. You'll make a change on something and it'll turn the audio off. Then all of a sudden we go live and we've got no audio and I have to figure out what I did. What I'm getting a lot better at the program and I like it a lot.
Yeah, vMix
vMix is the one just for Apple, right?
vMix is the one that what?
Is it just for Apple computers, right?
No, I don't have an Apple.
No, really. vMix is. I looked at vMix when we started to do the lives. I looked at vMix. I looked at Streamlabs. I looked at OBS. Streamlabs and OBS are super similar to each other.
Well, Streamlabs is
Streamlabs. Huh?
I think Streamlabs is part of OBS, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember I did like a test of Streamlabs, but like it made my face real wide on here. So
Streamlabs to me was again more labor intensive than OBS. So we use OBS, and to me it's because it integrates so well with the Stream Deck. It's so easy to just program the graphics from OBS right into the Stream Deck. And of course we're using StreamYard. We only use StreamYard when we have guests on, but then I broadcast through OBS into StreamYard, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah, so that way I can get all my graphics and all my sound into StreamYard from the OBS program using a virtual audio cable. And we're getting
interested to see how you do that
now.
You know what I like about vMix is if I bring in a guest, the guest comes to me, and then I send out the stream to YouTube. Where I think like in StreamYard, we're all connecting to some server in the cloud, and then it streams to YouTube. So I got a little bit more control over it, and I know that there's no latency issues when I'm sending out the stream altogether.
Yeah. vMix is good for that. And if we were going to do guests like every single week, right? But we only do guests really once a month, right? We do guests once a month, and that's it. Just our Creator of the Month thing. Otherwise we just broadcast straight through OBS through YouTube. Right, just like with right. So vMix is kind of the conduit to go through your YouTube broadcast. So that's normally what we do. It's just OBS straight through YouTube. Only StreamYard if we have a guest on. That's the only time we ever use it. People in this chat are probably going, "Oh my God, they're getting all this technical shit."
Yeah, I was gonna say we're probably losing the chat, guys, with all this technical.
It's still all good. I mean, this stuff everybody likes here.
Keep it risque. Can we go back to the risque talk?
We actually broke down we got Adobe today. So our old computer was not able to handle Adobe. You got to have a pretty good computer to handle Adobe.
You do.
So we had to upgrade our computer system, and then our daughter is in school for editing. So, it's an investment. She got a computer. We got a computer. So.
Yeah, that's one thing you have to have with Adobe is you better have a very, very stout computer, especially if you're using not so much for Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro's, but if you're going to get into like using After Effects and the rendering, the way it works is, like I said, I've got a super stout computer, and it's still. When do the strippers come out?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So all right, you guys, hold on.
There we go.
So Brad,
get your dollars out.
There you
That was a bad show. I love it.
But what's he using to be able to do that on StreamYard?
There's some girls on trampolines for you guys.
Well, that was part of the Man Show. Who knew about the Man Show when I said that at Polo? Like,
I did.
That's why I put the background up. I thought we were doing Man Show.
Yeah, I've never seen the Man Show. I'm not a big TV watcher.
Well, this was like back in the late '90s. It was basically how Jimmy Kimmel got famous. Was the Man Show? Him and Adam Carolla. And they did this horrible Doug Stanhope, Joe Rogan version. That was, but it was basically like a guys. Like they made fun of like Oprah and everything unmasculine through the whole show. Like that was the whole point.
Hey, shut up! I'm watching Mike's video.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you do this, Mike? How do you get this on your screen? What are you running?
Sorry, I was taking that chance to eat. It's just a media source in OBS that I just played. Just hit play on. I just answered him.
I didn't hear you, Betsy. What was that, Betsy?
Can you tell Betsy this is a show for the boys?
They had their moment.
Betsy,
they had their time and they wasted it talking about friggin' toilet paper.
Just because you guys wanted to talk about like fluffing and folding.
Exactly. Shut it. You had your time.
Not gonna fancy says we want to see bros.
Okay.
Bro.
The risque. Starting.
Bro.
Mexican ice cream, bro.
Flex the muscles.
Bro.
We all lift some weights.
That's right.
That's like Jersey Shore.
Hani can't smell nothing anyway.
Jim Tan. I missed it. What did he say?
Hani can't smell anything anyway.
I can't smell anything. You're right. That's true. I'm glad I got my taste back. That part sucked, man.
Oh, God.
That's when you go on that doing J-Bo and eat the hottest shit you can find.
That's right.
I know.
You should have taken the Pocky Chip Challenge or the Hot Nut Challenge or whatever.
I should have every challenge at once, like every single hot challenge at the same time. Just like
but I would have paid for it still.
The next day, yeah, you would have.
At least.
Hani, still can't taste that.
You know what you call that? You call it "I hate my butthole challenge." I'm gonna take every hot challenge there is in the "I hate my butthole challenge."
Yeah, I hear you.
So DJ Kayla says toilet paper is an integral part of daily life. It matters.
No. Well, then you guys can keep that on Cabin Wise. We don't need to hear on the Cabin.
We're gonna talk about that.
By the way, Sarah says it's bruh. It's not bruh. Bruh.
That's right, bruh.
Bruh.
Vizo's daughter was trying to teach him how to say it on polo the other day. It was hilarious. Bruh. Vizo with the accent.
Oh yeah, Vizo.
Bruh.
That's right. Yeah, his daughter had a shirt on and said bruh. And he said bra. That's what remember he said? That's what he said. He goes, bra.
It's harder because of his accent, so it makes it even harder for him. Even when he's trying to say it right, he thinks he's saying it right. But
he's like, bra. And his daughter's like, Dad, it's bruh.
One guy I can't wait to hang out with. I know some of you guys already did, but he looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So I don't know when we're wrapping up, but is somebody else hosting this next month or whatever? What's the plan for this show?
Midlife graphics together for us.
Midlife.
Looking at you, Brad. Everybody just turns towards everybody turns towards Alice in the middle.
Thanks, Bob.
I'll be taking
up a graphics fund.
Okay. Well, I think this should be if the girls are doing the last week of the month, we should do like the second week. At least we got a week. That way, there's like a week gap between their show and our show at all times.
Well, where are we now? We're in
2 hours. That's where I wanted to end.
You sure you don't want to sync with the girls?
Yeah, sync with the girls. They already do that. I was just saying that because I know other people want to do this, and I'll gladly sit out. I'll gladly sit out so somebody else can do it. You know? So,
rotate people in.
Here's the thing. When I vid both shows, I want it to be a rotation. Like I want everybody to be able to get in, everybody to have fun with it for the wives show and the bro show. That was the whole point of me making these, that everybody can get in, everybody can hear a little bit from everybody. That was the whole point of making both shows. So I mean, I'll bow out, whoever. I mean, I know there's a lot of people want to be on this, but I think it's that way, and everybody gets like, even the bigger shows, small shows, a little bit of everything.
So let's do the next one on the 13th.
The 13th. So okay.
Day before Valentine's Day.
The day before Valentine's Day.
Ooh.
All right, let's do it on hold on.
12th?
Not like nobody's going out here in California for Valentine's.
You can't go anywhere.
Let's do the.
We do anything for Valentine's Day.
When's the next girls one, Bob? When's the next girls one? Because I know Sarah's hosting it. Do you know?
January 30th.
They're on the 30th.
30th, yeah, on her birthday.
All right, so let's do ours on the. Hold on.
The 6th or the 20th, I think.
Yeah, let's do it the 20th.
Okay.
20?
That's good.
20th, February 20th.
Yeah.
And Nurse Nancy, you're right. We only think about bras.
Well,
I'm sorry, I got the peanut gallery over here to tell me dates.
we think about taking them off.
Exactly.
Yes.
They don't need all that fancy stuff. It all looks the same, laying on a pile on the corner of the bedroom.
That's right.
So, all right,
Bill,
guys.
better have plans for Valentine's, Bill. It says Lucy said you better have plans for Valentine's.
It's our anniversary too, so
Yeah, you've been warned.
yes.
Oh boy.
And remember, she's with my wife on plans to kill people, like husbands. So,
Bill, Lucy just sent me a polo that said she'd like to go to a nice Asian restaurant for
we can make that happen. We're allowed out around here now. They've actually opened up, like Pennsylvania, even.
wow.
So not Philadelphia.
Lucky you.
And
All right,
after 10 o'clock at night, we're not allowed out. COVID goes rampant.
Okay, guys, it's been 2 hours. Like, I think it's time, pretty much time to cut it off. Thank you,
Cut it
Don't say that, T. Cut it off.
We don't talk about way in my house.
choppy, buddy. But anyway, thank everybody for coming on. Brad, Hani, Mike, Bill, Bob, everybody coming on. We'll again, I think we decide the 20th next month. We'll be back on Midlife for Cabin Bros Part 2. Like, thank everybody for coming into the chat, and we will see you on the 20th. I guess everybody, Beach Life, you're on tomorrow, correct? I mean, Beach Please, sorry.
Yeah, we are on tomorrow at 2 Pacific. What's that? 5 Eastern, right before Midlife.
Yep.
Your life's on tomorrow?
Yeah, but that's on tomorrow. And then Bill of MGM is on every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Cuse Cruisers is every Friday at 8 p.m.
Yep.
Hani, you're at 6 p.m. I'm sorry, 7 p.m. to 9, usually correct?
On Wednesdays, 7 to 9 Eastern.
And then we're on Thursdays at 8. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming in. Everybody have a great night. Go Bucks, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye, guys.
Hi, guys.